Entry 1. Knoxville, June 28, 1918. The stifling heat of Knoxville is beginning to wear on me, as is the incessant chatter of the Society's junior fellows. Their talk of archaeological digs in Mesopotamia and ethnological studies in distant African lands rings hollow in my ears. My own pursuits, the subtle currents of the truly unknown, are often met with polite skepticism or, worse, outright amusement. They call it fringe. I call it the edge of human understanding. My current fixation stems from a series of disparate, seemingly unconnected reports that have crossed my desk over the past several months. First, a cryptic note from an independent surveyor in eastern Tennessee, mentioning an anomalous gravitational pull in a remote mountain range, dismissible on its own. Then, a faded newspaper clipping, decades old, detailing the inexplicable disappearance of an entire logging camp in the same vicinity, attributing it to a mountain fever or wild beast, but the language hinted at something far more profound. And most recently, a personal letter from an old acquaintance, a folklorist specializing in Appalachian superstitions, who spoke of hushed tales from isolated communities, tales of things that sleep beneath the earth and silences that swallow sound. Each piece, on its own, is easily dismissed, but when laid side by side, a pattern emerges, faint yet undeniable. A geographical convergence, a common thread of the unexplained. The region in question is Blackwood Ridge, a relatively uncharted area of the Appalachian Mountains. Its very name, whispered by the locals, seems to carry a weight of its own. My official cover will be a geological survey for the Society. It grants me access to remote areas and provides a plausible explanation for my solitude and the esoteric equipment I carry. The war in Europe dominates everyone's attention, making it easier for a lone scholar to slip away unnoticed into the wilderness. Perhaps the world's preoccupation with its own self-destruction provides a veil for greater, more ancient horrors. I've begun assembling my gear. The seismograph, the acoustic recorders, photographic plates, all must be meticulously prepared for the rigors of the mountains. This is no mere academic exercise. I feel an undeniable pull towards Blackwood Ridge, a resonance with these scattered whispers that speaks to something far deeper than mere curiosity. I suspect this journey will be transformative. Preparing for departure. Disparate reports converging on Blackwood Ridge. Official cover secured. Growing sense of urgency. Entry 2. Knoxville, June 29, 1918. A restless night. The fragments of information regarding Blackwood Ridge churned in my mind, forming unsettling configurations. I spent the morning poring over antiquated maps, noting the scarce geographical features of the region. Most of it is marked simply as unexplored or impassable. Such designations, for a cryptologist of the unknown, are less deterrents and more invitations. I visited the local library, a dusty, echoing cavern, to consult any local histories or anecdotal accounts. Little of scientific value, as expected. Plenty of old wives' tales about haints and mountain devils, but one particular passage in a collection of regional folklore caught my eye. A brief, almost offhand mention of a specific hollow within Blackwood Ridge, referred to locally as the Stillness. It spoke of a place where the birds do not sing and the wind does not blow, even on the stormiest days. An eerie, profound quietude. This aligns chillingly with the folklorist's letter and my own initial interpretations of the survey reports. An absence of sound, a void. This is precisely the kind of anomaly that defies easy explanation. I've secured the services of a mule and a reliable, albeit taciturn, local guide named Jebediah. He seemed uncomfortable when I mentioned Blackwood Ridge, his eyes darting away, but he agreed to the venture for a generous sum. His apprehension only solidifies my conviction that something truly out of the ordinary resides there. The locals' intuition, unburdened by scientific skepticism, often points towards truths that our instruments overlook. My provisions are packed: concentrated rations, fresh water, spare lamp oil, medical supplies. More importantly, my research notes and the specialized equipment are secured against the elements. This journey requires complete self-reliance. Once I leave the last outpost of civilization, there will be no turning back. The anticipation is a palpable tremor beneath my skin. Further research on Blackwood Ridge. The stillness identified. Local guide secured. Final preparations underway. Inexplicable urgency persists. Entry 3. Knoxville, June 30th, 1918. Final day in Knoxville. The city hums with mundane anxieties. News of the war, the price of coal, the summer heat. All of it seems trivial now, a mere distraction from the profound questions that await me in the mountains. My colleagues at the Society believe I am merely indulging in a rigorous geological expedition. Let them. The true nature of my pursuit would likely earn me a padded room. I spent the morning checking and rechecking every piece of my equipment. The Edison phonograph, adapted with a sensitive horn for capturing faint atmospheric sounds, is crucial. The seismograph, a delicate balance of levers and smoked paper, promises to record the minutest tremors. Even my photographic plates, prepared with a new, highly sensitive emulsion, will hopefully capture what the naked eye cannot. The feeling that something significant, something truly ancient and unsettling, lies within Blackwood Ridge has intensified into an almost unbearable certainty. It's not a rational deduction, but a profound, instinctual knowing, a cold whisper against the back of my mind. It's the lure of the unknowable, the siren song of secrets that have lain buried since before man first walked the earth. Jebediah will meet me at dawn. My last connection to the civilized world will be severed when I step onto that mule cart. I look at my hand, steady and unblemished, and wonder what it will have witnessed by the time I return, if I return. The ink of this journal feels strangely heavy, as if already weighted down by the truths it is destined to record. The path ahead is shrouded in mystery, and the deeper I delve, the further I may stray from the light of human understanding. Final preparations complete. Profound sense of impending discovery. Departure imminent. Uncertainty of return acknowledged. Entry 4. En route, July 1st, 1918. The jolting of the mule cart is a constant companion, a rhythmic reminder of my journey deeper into the mountains. Jebediah, true to his taciturn nature, rides ahead, his silhouette a stark outline against the burgeoning wilderness. We left the last signs of civilization, a solitary, dilapidated general store, hours ago. The air is noticeably cooler here, purer, imbued with the scent of ancient pine and damp earth. My thoughts wander, as they often do on these solitary expeditions, to the vastness of the unknown. The world, as we perceive it, is but a thin veneer over profound, unimaginable truths. My academic peers, with their meticulously categorized knowledge, are like children playing in a meticulously crafted garden, unaware of the abyssal depths that lie just beyond the fence. Blackwood Ridge, I suspect, is one such abyss. I've been monitoring my instruments casually. The barometer shows a steady atmospheric pressure, the thermometer a gradual decrease in temperature with altitude. Nothing out of the ordinary, yet the feeling persists, a subtle hum beneath the surface of reality. It's akin to the sensation before a storm, not yet visible, but undeniably present in the very air. I spent the afternoon reviewing my notes on other cases of unexplained disappearances and localized silences from various remote regions across the globe. There's a recurring pattern, a faint echo of similar phenomena that hints at a larger, terrifying tapestry woven into the fabric of the cosmos. This journey feels less like an investigation and more like a pilgrimage into the heart of a cosmic secret. Journey progressing. Reflecting on the unknown. Subtle atmospheric shifts. Reviewing analogous cases. Entry 5. Deeper into the mountains. July 2nd, 1918. The trails are becoming less defined, more akin to animal paths than human thoroughfares. The forest has thickened considerably, the trees growing taller and closer, their branches intertwining above to form a dense canopy that allows only dappled sunlight to pierce through. The silence, initially noted as peculiar, is now a pervasive feature of the landscape. The usual chatter of squirrels, the distant call of birds, even the buzzing of insects, all are conspicuously absent. It is a profound, unsettling quiet. Jebediah, despite his stoicism, seems affected. His eyes constantly scan the dense undergrowth, and he starts at the slightest rustle of leaves. He speaks only when necessary, his voice hushed, almost reverent, as if afraid to disturb the profound stillness that envelops us. His unease mirrors my own growing sense of apprehension. I've begun taking more frequent readings with my acoustic recorder. The phonograph, with its sensitive horn, captures nothing but a faint, almost imperceptible hum that seems to defy any known frequency. It's too low to be a natural sound, too constant to be an anomaly. It's a vibration, I suspect, that permeates the very air itself. The feeling of being watched, a sensation I usually dismiss as a trick of an overactive imagination, is stronger here. Not a hostile gaze, but an indifferent observation, as if by something ancient and utterly alien that simply is. It is a sensation that makes the hairs on my neck stand on end, a prickling awareness of being insignificant in a vast, unknowable presence. Deeper penetration into mountains. Unnatural silence more pronounced. Guide's apprehension noted. Peculiar low-frequency hum detected. Sense of unseen observation. Entry 6. Approaching Blackwood Ridge. July 3rd, 1918. The landscape is changing. The mountains here are older, more weathered, their peaks worn smooth by millennia. The trees, though still dense, are beginning to show signs of unnatural growth. Gnarled branches twisting into grotesque shapes, trunks scarred with patterns that are not quite natural. It's as if the very flora is being subtly warped by an unseen influence. Jebediah refused to go further today. He stopped abruptly at a small creek, his mule whinnying nervously. "This be as far as I go, mister," he said, his voice a gravelly whisper. "Beyond here, the mountain ain't right. It takes things, and it don't give 'em back." He gestured vaguely towards a particularly dense section of the woods. No amount of additional remuneration could sway him. His fear was absolute, primal. I am now truly alone. This isolation, once sought, now feels like a profound vulnerability. I've established a crude, temporary camp by the creek. The silence here profound save for the gentle burble of the water, a fragile thread of normalcy in an increasingly unsettling landscape. My instruments are beginning to behave erratically. The compass needle twitches uncontrollably when pointed towards the heart of Blackwood Ridge, refusing to settle on magnetic north. My barometer readings are fluctuating wildly, indicating impossible shifts in atmospheric pressure. It's as if the very laws of physics are being subtly warped in this place. I am dealing with something beyond geological forces, beyond human understanding. Guide's departure. Landscape increasingly unnatural. Instrument anomalies. Compass and barometer erratic. Deeper sense of isolation. Entry 7. First days on the ridge. July 4th, 1918. I've spent the better part of the day attempting to establish a more permanent base camp further into the ridge. The progress is slow, arduous. The terrain itself seems to resist, every step requiring conscious effort against an invisible force. The ground underfoot feels unnaturally soft in places, then abruptly hard, almost crystalline. The silence here is absolute. Not merely the absence of sound, but an oppressive, heavy void that seems to absorb all noise. I spoke aloud, just to hear the sound of my own voice, and it felt flat, dead, swallowed immediately by the air. It's the kind of silence that presses in on the eardrums, a deep, internal resonance that makes one question the very act of speaking. My most disturbing observation today, the sunlight. It is muted, as if passing through an unseen filter. Even at midday, the light is dim, tinged with a peculiar, sickly green hue that casts the forest in an unnatural pallor. It's not the light of a normal sky, but something other. It fills me with a profound sense of unease, a disquiet that penetrates deeper than any mere visual phenomenon. I feel a profound isolation, not just from humanity, but from the natural world itself. This place feels outside of nature, a pocket of reality where the conventional rules do not apply. I find myself constantly looking over my shoulder, though I see nothing, only the oppressive stillness and the alien light. Establishing deeper camp. Absolute silence. Unnatural, sickly green sunlight. Growing sense of isolation and otherworldliness.